It's not the computer. I don't think it's. Yeah, I can't reach the 5G from up here without an additional device, so I will be purchasing that soon.
Oh, okay. Alright, I already said this line.
Yeah, okay. Hey, let us know if you can see us, folks. If you can hear us, not see us.
Yeah, drop a cabbage if you can see us.
Yeah, if you can see me sitting here in my undershirt.
Goodness, I don't want you to see me. No.
Are you
naked?
No. Kinda. No.
I'm not entirely naked.
I'm wearing socks.
I'm wearing just socks.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way to do it. Alright.
No, really, it takes a lot of skill. You have a real gift for it.
He turns to you again and his cheeks go a little pink when he sees the smile you're giving him.
Well, thanks!
After a moment, he faces the road again, but now he's tapping out the rhythm of the song with a little more enthusiasm, and even humming the chorus as he drives.
Do you have any other hobbies?
He rolls his shoulders back in a shrug, his head tilting off towards the window a bit.
These days I spend most of my time on the boat with Ford, hunting monsters, discovering things.
He pauses.
Family
watching.
business.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Wait, what? What?
Saving people, hunting things, the family business is oft repeated line in Supernatural. That's.
Oh. I used box.
I used box. You know, a box. I used to use one of those.
He's used it to box. Yeah.
It shows.
Really? Or it shows.
He looks at you again, grinning.
That's amazing. I wish I'd grown up doing something like that.
I wouldn't mind showing you a few things.
I could punch you in the face. And you could punch me back? This is my idea of romance.
I like that.
After about 20 minutes of rural scenery, Stan pulls off the road and onto a long gravel driveway that disappears into the woods.
Is this the place?
Stan nods and rounds a turn, not turns around, to reveal a clearing populated by a trailer home and a couple sheds. The trailer is a bit rundown and shabby, and one of the sheds look like it's about one strong sneeze from collapsing. Not really the place you want to be at night, while alone with a guy you practically just met.
Be honest. Did you bring me here to murder me?
Stan laughs,
Ha!
cutting the engine and resting his arm on the back of the front seat.
No, I brought you here to murder him. I'm just kidding, kid. Relax. I'm gonna do the murdering.
He moves to get out of the car, then turns back with a creepy blank expression on his face.
Or am I?
You chuckle nervously, and he laughs again,
Ha!
pushing the door open.
Seriously, I'm kidding. I won't be long.
At the door to the trailer, Stan knocks, and the door opens on a dark interior before he walks inside. The door shuts behind him. You give the yard a few curious glances before realizing that the weird pile of sticks you've been looking at is actually bones. You quickly pull out your phone to look at instead. 10 minutes later, Stan's back and carrying a large cardboard box in both hands. You see him fumble with the handle of the rear left door for a moment before you reach back over the seat and pop it open for him. A peek in the box reveals a few various shades of furry somethings and an animal skull you don't recognize. This doesn't seem like something worth bursting out all your darkest duds for.
We aren't by any chance robbing a bank, are we? Because I would have brought gloves.
Give me your bones! Stan laughs.
No, nothing like that.
He starts up the car again and you're back on the road.
Somehow I'm not quite convinced.
Well, who knows where the night's gonna take us? Could be legal, could be not. Not a problem?
Can we swing by a jeweler? I need a new watch.
Let me try that again. You're a riot, kid!
Stan takes the highway. The final minutes of the sun sets burnt orange and purple ahead of you, while the welcome sign for Gravity Falls disappears into the rearview mirror. A new song comes on the radio, something bright and bouncy with lyrics about love, and his fingers get back to tapping.
Look at this photograph! Ow!
In the retreating light, you can see faded patches on the rim of the steering wheel, the color worn away from decades worth of his touch. The passenger seat you sit in hasn't yet taken the shape of someone's specific. Even after all this time, the springs still feel brand new. Meanwhile, on the driver's side of the car, Stan settled easily into which fits him as well as a finely tailored jacket. Yeah, Celia's the only one who's played all the way through at least once. You tuck your leg up under its mate.
Secrets.
Leaning back into the dark leather of the DeVille's interior, and you watch cars pass and recede out the windshield. After a few minutes of music-backed silence, you feel like breaking it. Hey! Wanna hear a joke?
I think we get to the joke, even if you ask something else first. So can we do the car first?
Sure. Oh, the Stanmobile here.
Oops.
And then Facebook happened.
Sorry.
Stan pats the dashboard affectionately, running his hand over the leather interior.
Cool, ain't she?
They really don't make them like they used to.
Nope, they sure don't.
Okay, now tell a joke.
Oh, okay. I asked about him.
Oops.
Now we can just skip all this.
You from Oregon originally?
I'm from out east, Jersey. Little town called Glass Shard Beach.
No one says Joyzy.
Shut up.
Ah, yes. Name your town after something dangerous. That'll bring the tourists in.
You'd be surprised. People from Jersey are idiots.
The joke here is that I'm from Jersey. I was very happy when I found out my favorite television old men were as well.
What's it like?
He shrugs.
It's orange.
Well, why move out here?
That's a long story.
His voice is quiet, and he watches the road ahead with intense focus, but his expression doesn't last long before he brightens and smiles over at you.
You don't want to hear it anyway.
Tell a joke. You may pick.
Stan glances
My
over.
granddad had the heart of a lion.
And the wings of
The
a
wings of a
bat.
bat? Because it's midnight.
Sta-
6:44.
Stan glances over at you, momentarily confused as to why you're bringing this up.
And a lifetime ban from the zoo.
Oh boy, here it goes.
Yeah.
Stan laughs.
That's pretty good.
Look at that
Oh, my
face!
pancreas.
Look at that face! He thinks for a minute, presumably to come up with a joke of his own.
Blonde walks into a bank in New York City. But her aim's getting better!
Oh no. This isn't gonna be one of those awful blondes are dumb jokes, is it?
He levels a withering look on you.
Can I tell the joke?
I don't know, can you?
You grin with your lower lip caught between your teeth, clearly joking, and he chuckles.
Ah, ha, 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 ha.
Banter!
Anyway, Blonde walks into a bank in New York City. She goes up to the bank manager and she says, "I'm out for $5,000. I'm taking a vacation overseas."
A car passes you on the highway going 20 over the speed limit, and Stan swears,
Fuck!
and then stifles it. Crying out loud! Fuck crying out loud! Did you, Brian?
Charlie?
Hi.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I said the line.
Okay, sorry.
So the bank manager goes, "Well, miss, do you have a collateral?"
Collateral.
Collateral, sorry. Collateral? We need a collateral for that kind of loan. And she nods and says she does. And she takes the bank manager out to got $50,000 ferry waiting. And she says, "This is my car.
For
You hold it until this is my car. You can hold on to it until I pay back my loan."
Stan continues, glancing over at you and trying to suppress a smile.
Bank manager's confused, but he figures this lady doesn't pay. He's gonna have a nice new Ferrari in his garage, so he agrees.
A sign for an exit points off the road to the right. The text reading County Road 328, and Stan takes it off the highway.
So he gives the blonde her 5 G's. She hands him the keys to her car. She heads off to Europe. A month later, she shows back up at the bank with the 5 G's and the interest for the loan, which figures out about $15.
Stan continues, turning down an unlit gravel road, the headlights casting spooky shadows through the trees.
The bank manager takes the repayment for the loan and the interest and has one of his employees bring the car out in front of the bank for the blonde.
Out ahead on the road, a deer turns its face to the car and then leaps across the road to disappear into the woods.
Just before she leaves, the bank manager stops the blonde and says, "Lady, I'm real confused here. You clearly loaded enough to afford this car and you paid back the loan, and then some. Why take out the loan if you're so rich?" And the lady turns to him, runs a hand through her hair and says, "Where else can I park my car in New York City for 2 weeks for only $15?
It's funny.
Brian, did you ever park in New York City?
Yeah. I actually drove in New York City.
If you could call it driving.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually, this was when I, was meeting Charlie in person for the very first time, 2016.
Mm-hmm. You burst into wild laughter, and he laughs along with you.
Ha 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 ha!
Alright, I take it back. That was the best blonde joke of my life.
Just as you finish speaking, Stan pulls off to the side of the road and the engine dies. As you step out of the car, the unearthly silence of the woods envelopes the two of you. Out in the woods ahead, you see a single bright light.
Me!
Is this the place?
Just about.
You follow him back towards the truck, which he opens quietly and slowly, frowning as it squeaks.
What are we doing here?
You, might not guess it looking at me, but I got a thing.
Is that what they call it?
The two of you stare at each other for a moment, and he looks a little nervous.
For
art.
Alright, Celia.
That one or
Really,
I do too is good.
What'd you say? Sorry?
Yes.
One more time?
Oh, is that all?
He brightens, smiling in the dim haze of the trunk light.
Well, this jump up this hill here is one of the artists, Gustav.
Clown egg.
Okay, clown egg. Snuck it from right out under me at an auction. I've been trying to buy it off him for years, but the jerk won't sell no matter how much I offer him. And trust me, you meet this guy, you know it's out of spite.
So we're stealing it?
You got it, kid.
Frankly, I'm surprised you haven't done this sooner.
Stan laughs quietly.
I did it.
Yeah, sorry, it cut out one more time, Brian. Fishing around in the duffel bag for you don't know what.
Like to see it. It's a masterpiece. I've been waiting 6 months for him to go out of town. Here, take these.
He pulls a pair of gloves from the bag, handing them to you. When you slide them on, they fit almost perfectly.
I guess your size, right?
You nod, wiggling your fingers.
Wiggle, wiggle.
Stan chuckles, pulling on a pair of his own. A set of black leather driving gloves with silver snap closures that glint in the light from the trunk.
You ready, kid?
You bet.
Stan tucks a few things into the inner pockets of his jackets that you can't see in the low light, and with the trunk shut just as quietly as it was opened, you follow him up into the woods towards the distant light. As you near it, a porch takes shape within the light's glow. Behind it, the dark shape of a house sits in the even darker woods. Stan leads you past the front porch and around the corner of the house to a set of stairs that appears to lead into a basement.
Ah, this is my favorite part.
He withdraws a small black shape from his pocket and something that looks like it might be a pen. The pen-shaped thing turns out to be a small flashlight, and he holds it in his teeth as he opens the black case to reveal a set of lockpicking tools.
Ugh. You're a lucky person, kid. You get to see this artist in action.
He gets to work, inserting one tool in and wiggling it down to the bottom of the keyhole, then pulling out another and poking at the innards of the lock with it. You glance around in the darkness as he works, half expecting to get caught before you get anywhere. But then the lock clicks and Stan stands, opening the door for you with a flourish.
I am very impressed. That was so cool.
He beams with pride, and you smile politely as you step through the door in front of him. Hang on a sec, guys. The basement is unlit. It smells like dust and mildew, the air sour with wet dirt and mold. Stan moves past you into the dark, his little pen flashlight still lit, and leads you through a cobwebby laundry room and towards a door across the bottom of a set of rickety wooden stairs.
Wait till you see this, kid. Oh god, I don't like this.
He picks the lock of this door just as quickly as he picked the last, and the door creaks open into a dark room with odd flooring barely lit by Stan's flashlight. Stan goes first, and as you follow him in, he hits a light switch, revealing a beautifully designed gallery of plush scarlet carpets and gleaming wood paneling full of paintings of sad clowns. Stan looks more excited than you've seen him yet, his arms crossed over his chest and a warm smile on his face.
Can you believe that hillbilly chump has a collection like this?
You shake your head slowly, still looking around the room with wide eyes.
Someday, all of these are gonna be mine. Come on, I'll show you the one we're gonna get.
You follow him to the back.
Sorry, I cut out.
What?
I cut out.
Oh, okay. You follow him to the back of the room, and he stops in front of a large painting of a clown with bright red lips and blue circles on his cheeks. His eyes outlined in black with comically large eyelashes painted onto his eyelids. His neck ruffs droop sadly, and his costume is dingy and worn.
This is beautiful. Are you happy, chat?
Well, guess what?
What? Stan,
Keep clicking.
what do you think?
What do you think?
Yes!
Do it!
Say it, Celia!
Yes. Beautiful.
Really like this kind of thing. No kidding.
Stan's voice is edged with hope.
They're all beautifully done.
It's nice to meet somebody who really appreciates these like I do.
It's just plain excellent. Oh shoot, I hit the wrong one.
Oh, are you playing along?
Alright, this'll work. I love the irony. Clowns are supposed to be happy, but he's not. I wish I knew the story behind it.
You look over at Stan and he looks delighted.
Hot Belgian waffles! You really do like it! Well, get this thing off the wall and out of here!
As he works to get the clowning down off the wall, you wander the room looking at the other paintings. As you look over a portrait of a mime with dirt on his white and black striped shirt, you're suddenly grabbed by your shoulders. Boo.
Ah!
You scream.
Delayed reaction there, Celia.
Eyes shut in fear as you throw a weak karate chop at the source of the noise, making unimpressive contact with something solid and muscular. After a moment's panic, you squeeze whatever the thing is in your hands and open your eyes, finding...
Ha! That's supposed to hurt me?
Stan's arm and shoulder. Boys, really packing some heat in there. Wow. He laughs, apparently. Oh, sorry. He laughs. Apparently very pleased with himself for scaring the absolute life out of you.
You need those boxing tips even more than I thought! You couldn't even defend yourself from a fly with moves like that!
Those boxing tips.
Oh, God.
You laugh shakily and then realize you're still feeling up Stan's arm.
Ooh, hats. Sorry, it's lagging on me.
You pull your hands away a bit too fast and he chuckles, blushing all the way up to his ears.
No problem, kid.
Look at that face! He clears his throat and the silence between you begins to grow awkward before it's interrupted. Upstairs, in what is supposed to be an empty house, you hear footsteps crossing the door to the basement. Stan apparently hears them too, and a sudden series of expressions crossing his face from shock to confusion to terror and finally setting on indignation. He quickly takes you by the arm, whispering harshly in your ear as he drags you towards the entrance of the clown room.
When he comes in here, shut the door, and I'll shove these boxes in front.
You nod, and just as a line of light from the top of the stairs blooms into a wide swath, you and Stan duck behind a wall near the door to freedom, one corner of the stolen painting poking you uncomfortably in the ribs. Is it, I'm guessing, Bud? Who's down there? Slippered feet come down the wooden steps ahead of you, and when their owner notices the light on, he holds something long and gun-shaped out in front of him. Pines, if that's you, I swear to God, I'm really gonna shoot you this time. Gun-shaped? Gun-shaped? Gun? Gun! Stan nudges toward you. Nudges you, jabbing a thumb toward the door leading outside, and jerks his head toward it. You take a step out from behind the wall, take Stan's hand in your own, and pull him into a jog, and then run, the two of you scrambling up the concrete steps out into the cool night air as a voice shouts swears behind you. Fuck! Stan kicks the door shut on his way out, and there's a startled yelp behind you as it makes contact with the owner of the house. There's more swearing, but you lose it behind you as you run, flashlight in one hand and Stan's hand in the other. When you reach the tree line, you part and maneuver your way through bushes and brambles, Stan crashing through them behind you. As you run, a deafening gunshot goes off behind you and you realize that you're being chased.
Bang!
Bang!
Holy shit! Run for it, regular Celia!
The noises get close enough that you can hear your pursuer swearing continually and loudly. You slow a bit, flashing your light behind you and raising the beam to find the distant but visibly enraged face of a man with a rifle in his hands. Acting on pure instinct, you fling the flashlight in the direction of the angry man and take off running again. After a moment, the man cries out. The sounds of pursuit fade with one final cry. Damn you, Pons! Stan cackles.
Sounds like you hit him!
You reach the Stanmobile first, sliding into the passenger seat as Stan slips his new Clownang into the back seat before joining you in front. Both of you panting and huffing. Stan hurriedly starts the engine and pulls off. At the next driveway, he does the fastest three-point turn you've ever seen in your life and then peels down the gravel road and screeches out into the highway. Stands quiet for a second before letting loose into wild, triumphant laughter.
I thought he was gonna catch me for sure this time!
Did a man just shoot at us?
Stan nods, still chuckling and apparently pretty pleased he didn't get hit. He lets out a long, loud sigh, his white-knuckled hands at 10 and 2 on the steering wheel. They are not! I can see them! They are most certainly not!
Yeah, that was... Holy moly! You okay, Irregular?
I'll let you know when I find out.
He pulls back onto the highway, back in the direction you came from, and you lapse into a comfortable silence. After a while, he starts humming along with the radio, knowing the song this time, and you hum along with him. Gravity Falls... Welcome sign passes by again, but the route Stan's taking doesn't seem to lead back to the shack. Instead, you come to a stop outside rows and rows of used cars, a car dealership. Stan slides out of the car, withdrawing something from a pocket within the breast of his jacket. Once you get out and around to the front bumper, you see that it's a cigar.
You mind if I smoke?
Care if I die? No, go ahead.
Thanks. I don't like smoking around the kids, you know. I'm already a bad enough influence.
He chuckles.
Ha ha!
And withdraws a pack of matches his pocket, and his face is bathed in the light of the flame. From your place a ways down the road, Stan surveys the lot, eyes sweeping back and forth until they land on what looks to be a fuse box under the dark overhang of the roof on the far side of the dealership.
What are we getting?
New drive belt, spark plugs, a couple of other things I can't remember the name of and aren't worth explaining.
It won't take all night though, will it?
He shakes his head, taking a long drag from the cigar, smoke rolling off his lips and into the night. You lean back against the front bumper of the car next to him and stuff your hands in your pockets. There isn't much light pollution around here, so the stars are bright and numerous above. Provided your car gets fixed, this might not turn out to be such a bad trip. You take a deep breath in through your nose, the smell of sweet, heady cigar smoke and crisp night air filling your lungs.
So, how are we doing this?
You gotta get rid of the lights. I doubt Bud's ever clever enough to have night vision cameras.
He laughs a little as he speaks. Smoke
Ha!
flowing out into the night with each individual laugh.
But we cut the power to the whole place and the cameras are gonna be gone anyways. So we cut the power, find a car, the same make and model as you. Got the parts your car needs. An hour, maybe an hour and a half tops.
I can get the lights.
Stan turns his head and looks at you, waving away a fresh cloud of smoke as he accidentally exhales in your direction.
You sure?
Yeah, I got it.
The two of you stand there in silence for a few more minutes before he bends down and grinds his cigar cold on the asphalt, straightening with a groan and a huff of quiet laughter.
Yeesh! Starting to remember why I quit smoking. sure? You know, oh, robbing the place. Hey, that the
I'm sorry.
fine. She's too. No, that's not it. You just don't.
I think I've gotten plenty of experience from tonight alone.
He smiles. A warm and genuine expression that ignites something fuzzy and soft inside you. You don't notice you're staring until he turns away and moves towards the trunk. He reaches into the car and pulls a lever onto the driver's side of the front seat, and the trunk pops open. You follow him to it, and after rummaging around in the contents for a minute, he brings out a pair of pliers.
Alright, you go over and take care of the lights. I've got a few things to get together.
You crouch down behind the fence when you reach the lot, scrambling along in the shadows until you reach the dealership's main building. With a peek over the edge, you see that the wall of the building is cast in shadow from a poorly placed streetlight. Another peek, you spot a car the same make as yours off to the back of the lot, near a sign that says, "Discount section, big deals." It takes an embarrassing amount of effort to get over the fence, but you manage it and press yourself flat against the wall, inching towards the fuse box. It's locked, but you pry it open with the pliers and look over what's inside. A bunch of switches, some wires. Celia?
Oh, let me leave her a second.
What's the plan?
Okay, flip the biggest switch.
With your face pinched in concentration, you push the biggest switch in the opposite direction and the entire property goes dark. You slip the tools into your back pocket and take a look around to make sure the power is out. With a satisfied nod, you feel your way out into the parking lot. Knocking your shins on 3 separate cars before you figure you should probably just stop and wait for Stan.
Where you at, kid?
His voice isn't far away, but he isn't close either. You feel your way around an SUV, and then a sedan. Hold on a second, guys. The gravel in the parking lot crunches under your feet, and you reflexively stare down at the ground ahead of you as your eyes slowly adjust to the darkness. Out ahead of you, a flashlight turns on and scans the lot until it finds you.
Found ya!
He sounds amused, probably at the way you're standing with your arms spread over a sleek modern sports car.
Get familiar with the merchandise, yeah?
You give the car an awkward pat and make your way towards the beginning of the flashlight's beam.
Pat, pat.
Now we gotta make a meme around that about Celia. You see anything the same make as yours before you shut the lights off?
Yeah, there's one back in the discount section.
It's kind of insulting now that you think about it, actually. He hands you the flashlight, and when you reach him, you slowly back towards the discount cars. Discount. Your car is... It's a classic! It's usually extremely reliable. To be perfectly honest, it's not even your fault that it's in the state it's in. It was Ford, and Whatever it is. You're deep in salty thoughts when your hands suddenly grip your ribs on either side. I'm assuming that's Stan again.
Gotcha!
Alright, hold on, the stream went down.
Oh no!
Poop.
Not again!
This time it might be because of the copyright, because I was playing Real-Time Fandub episodes, and apparently those got copyright striked, even though the originals didn't.
Aw.
Oh, it's back on.
It's weird.
They got terrible Wi-Fi. I actually am paying $90 a month for this Wi-Fi. It just doesn't really reach the room I'm in too well. Which I can get a device that'll increase the connection, and will soon. I just started a new job.
Okay, take it from, oh wow, I really got you that time.
Alright, Stan.
Holy smokes, kid!
You turn the flashlight to where you heard him fall, and you find him with a hand cupped over his face, blood dribbling out between his gloved fingers.
Yeah, I deserve that one.
A cuss! A cuss!
I say a cuss. I say a cuss.
She said the shit word.
Oh shit, I didn't. I'm really sorry.
Nah, I'll be alright. Just help me up.
You, tuck the still-lit flashlight into your back pocket for a moment, reaching down and finding his hands in the dark to pull him up. Once he's on his feet, you retrieve the flashlight, from your pocket. As you bring the beam to Stan's face, you find him holding a handkerchief over his nose and squinting. He's apparently brought a backpack with him, and it's sitting on the ground behind where he presumably dropped it when you elbowed him.
You know, that was a really solid hit. Got a lot of power in there. I don't know if you were just saying it to be nice earlier, but I really could show you some moves. Teach you how to direct that strength.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
He removes the hanky from his nose for a moment, gently prodding at the bridge of his nose with a finger, and frowns.
Well, it's not broken, that's for sure. It's not broken.
Because it's a nose.
That's good.
He laughs.
You broke all my snot!
He laughs quietly, taking a clean corner of the handkerchief and dabbing at his nose with it, grimacing and sniffling hard when it
Dabbing.
comes back, still clean.
Good to go!
Are you sure you're all right?
Yeah, of course! I've gotten worse beatings than that, believe me.
His face is flushed from the sudden injury, but he does look otherwise okay, so you sigh and plant your hands on your hips.
Then let's finish this.
He reaches out towards you, then catches a glimpse of the blood and reconsiders, wiping his gloves as clean as he can with the hanky. When you reach the car you spotted earlier, He pops the hood and drops his pack on the ground next to the bumper, unzipping it to reveal a jumble of various wrenches and tools.
Alright, hold the flashlight steady on the engine and keep an eye out.
What do you want to do?
I'll watch him work just for a minute.
Keeping a lookout is definitely important, you think, as he rolls his sleeves up and exposes his sturdy, well-muscled forearms. That's... wow.
Wow.
His gloved hands take deliberate, practiced movements without hesitation. Muggle says, I love how you're making the voices. Stan's voice is so funny, but it fits him too. Perfect. I will try this game myself. Thank you for showing it. His gloved hand, zeroing in on the spark plugs immediately. He bends over the front of his car, his jacket riding up his back as he stretches to grab a deeply set part, and you catch one glimpse of skin before you hastily turn your attention back to the lot in front of you. You're suddenly very glad it's dark as you feel a blush spread over your face and all the way out to your ears. It doesn't take long for him to get what he needs for your car, shutting the hood and setting his pack on it as he stuffs parts into it.
That was quick.
No, the parts you need are easy to find. Just take the rest. Hey, what's going on over there? Yeah, you, bud?
No, you be Blubs.
Oh, okay.
Go for it.
Hey, what's going on over there? That you, bud?
The beam of a flashlight finds you both, and Stan turns around quickly, leaving the bag behind himself on the hood.
Yeah. What the heck happened to your face? What are you doing out here? Hey, are you stealing parts again? No.
Stan inches closer to you until your shoulders touch. Behind you, he pushes the bag into your hands before lowering his voice to speak to you.
Run for it! Get the bag outside and toss it in some bushes nearby! I'll get it later!
You nod, picking up the bag and holding it behind yourself. The flashlight by the road moves closer, and you slowly scoot away from the car and backwards.
Hey, where are you going?
You move backwards a little faster, still keeping the bag out of sight, and when the light leaves you to check on Stan, you make a break for it towards the back fence, throwing the bag over it ahead of you. A new voice nearby speaks and you yell, "Hey, where you going, burglar? You're under arrest for burglary!" There's a shout from Stan and then a heavy thud.
Ah!
And one of the car alarms starts squealing. You're so surprised by the alarm that the second cop gets his hands around your wrists and slaps a pair of handcuffs on you. You better quit your squirming there, buddy. We caught you fair and square.
Oh, come on, Blubs! I saved the town from an interdimensional demon! Give me a break! Oh, I guess Cop 2 is Blubs.
Doesn't matter.
All right, Stan, we got a job.
Stan grumbles quietly, and the man behind you leads you toward the road to Stan and Blubs, who's now got him in cuffs. You need to get out of this, but how? Whoa! Jesus!
Go for the gun!
No,
go for
not
the gun! Go for the gun! Go for the gun! Go for the gun! Go for the gun!
Celia?
That's less dangerous.
Ah, you're no fun.
I'm irregular. I'm not fun.
You close the
Yeah, an irregular person would choose the wrong choice and go for the gun, though.
You close the space between you and the cop behind you. Once something moves between your fingers, you grab it, bringing back... Well, you're not quite sure what it is, but it feels like it's cold and metal, so you slip it into your back pocket.
Shoot, darling. We get it up, cruiser. Me and my ideas for romantic strolls in the moonlight.
Well, why don't we just commandeer Stan's car?
Do you mean commandeer?
I don't know.
Edwin Durl, you are an absolute delight, and I cherish having you as my life partner.
Derlin giggles behind you. Hee-hoo! And Blubs giggles with him. The two of them push you and Stan into the backseat of his car, crowding you in with the clowning. Stan grips it protectively, muttering under his breath about the fuzz. He's quiet for most of the ride, only speaking up once.
You okay, regular Celia?
I'll get back to you on that.
He falls silent after you respond and stays that way all the way back to the station. Inside the station, Derlin leads you to a pair of chairs by a desk and Flubs disappears down a hallway. Flubs is back after a few minutes, a deep frown set into his face, and after directing this frown at Derlin, he takes you and Stan down a hallway into a set of cells. At the first, he withdraws a set of keys and opens the door. You and Stan are uncuffed, and with a solid and somewhat alarming clang, the cell door shuts and locks.
You two better get comfortable and get your prints in the morning.
Stan grumbles, settling down into one of the provided bunk beds, and you sit down on the one next to it, facing him. He peels off his gloves, tucking them inside out into his pocket, and fiddles with a loose thread on the thin wool of the blanket on the bunk bed. Through the door at the end of the hallway, you hear Derlin say something about fancy black finger paints to Blubs. Here, in the bright fluorescent lights, you could see that he still has a bit of blood smeared under his nose and on his chin, and you feel a flush of embarrassment when you remembered that you're the one who did that to him.
One of the first two. How are we gonna get out of here?
Stan shrugs, crossing his arms over his chest. Seems to be his permanent pose. And flopping back onto the mattress.
I'm frozen! Don't think we can, kid. I'll see if I can convince them that you got hypnotized or something into coming along with me. Keep you out of trouble.
Listen, if you're going down for this, then so am I.
He laughs quietly, propping himself up on his elbows.
You don't want to get in trouble with the law, kid. Trust me. This isn't my first time spending the night in jail. Not by a long shot.
Sounds rough.
No sounds. Dangerous. Yeah, well, so it goes. This won't be so bad compared to 5 years in a Colombian prison.
There's a story behind that, but he doesn't look like he wants to tell it at the moment. It involved Goofy and Fantasy Seth Rogen.
The Rogan. Oh god, I can't wait to do that snubbed up.
Anyway, the only way we're getting out of here is with keys. Then we can just slip out of the window or something.
You think for a moment, stuffing your hands in your pockets, and suddenly remember the thing you grabbed off the second cop, Derlin. Oh wait! You jump to your feet and dig into your back pocket, withdrawing the small metal thing you stole to find that it's a set of car keys on a plastic keepsake photo fob. Stan's not looking, staring down at the floor of the cell instead, but you think you know what to do with these. You go to the bars of the cell looking for Derlin.
Hey, can you hear me out there? You dropped your car keys.
The faint discussion in the other room stops, and a moment later, Derlin comes into view. Where'd you get my keepsake key fob? I've been looking for that. You hold it out through the bars with both hands. As he reaches for his key fob, you reach out to his belt with your right hand and unclip the ring of keys from his belt. He doesn't notice. Derlin thanks you for returning his key fob and gives you, both you and Stan, a scrutinizing stare before heading back down the hallway and through the door. You hold out the keys in front of yourself and jingle them triumphantly.
Look what I got off Derland.
Stan stares at your hand in disbelief, then at you, then at the keys, then back at you again before laughing incredulously.
Ha 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 ha! Incredulously! Are you sure you don't have experience with this kind of thing?
Stan takes the keys from you, looking over them in his palm. He smiles up at you, then looks down at the keys and covers his mouth with his hand, dragging it down over his chin.
I can't believe I've been shown up by a tourist!
Well, get used to it, buddy, because I've got skills.
Sometimes the protagonist does kind of talk like you. He looks proud, smiling up at you like you just handed him $1 million.
So what are you waiting for? Let's get the hell out of here!
He stands as you reach through the bars and try keys until one works. The door swings open with a quiet creak and you creep down the hallway to the door. You open it a crack, looking out in the lobby and see Blubs asleep at the front desk, Derlin not in sight. Slowly you pull the door open and move into the lobby. Stan taps your shoulder and whispers low.
We gotta get my keys, you see him anywhere?
You glance around and spot them next to where Blubs is asleep, drool pooling on the table. Shoot. Crossing your fingers for luck, you sneak over to the desk and reach down to grab them when suddenly Blubs stirs and fumbles.
Food on my shoes.